You're trying to build a business. You're trying to lead an organization and change the world. But there's something on the other end of those goals that you haven't been talking about. And that deals with the home and how mental illness has been affecting you. And we're going to talk about that on The Everyday Leader. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim Burgoon and I'm your leadership coach. And I help entrepreneurs like you lift the lid on their leadership ability so you could be the leader worth following. One of the biggest questions I get asked when I share my story is, how do you do it all? I've been married for 20 years and my wife deals with multiple mental illnesses. One of my daughters has complex ADHD, and we've been building this dream together. And it has not been the easiest thing in the world because mental illness is a real thing. There's a difference between mental health and mental illness. Every one of us should be focusing on mental health, but only some of us have mental illness. So what do you do when mental illness is in your home? How do you manage your business? How do you manage your life? How do you manage working a job? How do you do all of these things and survive until the end of the day, and not only survive, but thrive? So let's jump into the content. The first thing you got to understand is you have to be flexible. Flexibility is key. Your schedule is not going to look like everyone else's. You really get out there and you see all these people, like if you have a morning routine and you get out there the 9 to 5 and you do this and this and this at this time, and you're sitting there like, have you seen my life? And what we have to do of people who are going through things and building a life in the midst of crisis is that we've got to be flexible. And what does that mean? Your morning routine may not start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It may start at 8 o'clock in the morning. But you have to be flexible and build a routine in your life that matches your life, because if you try to do it all, you will burn out quickly. Because not only are you trying to build your business, build your life, but you're also trying to take care of yourself, your mental health needs, and that of your family. The next thing I want to talk to you about is stop comparing. Here is one of the things that I think that those of us like you and I are in this kind of situation is the comparison trap. We don't need to compare other people's public life to our private life. We don't know their private lives. So we see what they show us and we look at our private life and we're like, why is my life so messed up? Well, here's the deal. You don't need to compare to anybody, because you're building something big. You're building something impactful and amazing, but you've got hurdles. You've got landmines. When you start comparing, what happens is you will not grow. You will not find the thing that you need to do. When you start comparing, you are saying to yourself that what you're going through doesn't matter. Who you are doesn't matter. So if we stop comparing less and start getting out there and being the best that we can be in the midst of our context, in the midst of our crisis, then you are going to find life, you're going to find contentment, you're going to find joy again, because comparison robs joy. And the reason why you're not content in what you're doing as you build your business is because you're comparing to everyone else. Stop doing it. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but it's learning to say, you know what, I'm okay with me. I'm okay with my situation because I know where I'm at. It's not where I'm always going to be, and I'm growing to where I want to be. Let's move past comparing ourselves to someone else's business and then start creating goals that says we will meet these markers and get to this place, and we'll be content in all of that process. The next thing I want to talk to you about is trust your instinct. I know it's hard. Listen, I know it's hard sometimes because we second guess ourselves. If you're living a life where there's mental illness in your house, you second guess everything because you know that what if they meant this, and what if this happens, and what if that happens? You start getting into this overthinking process. It's going to keep you frustrated. It's going to keep you upset. It's going to steal your joy, and your business will never grow because we're sitting in these places where we're not trusting our gut. Every time I've trusted my gut, I have been on the money. Every time I've second guessed myself, I have been wrong. But in the last several years, I've learned to trust my instinct. I know it's hard. You're trying to trust yourself. You're trying to get into a place where you're like, man, I want to trust my gut, but you're struggling with it. Start small. I know the trauma and the crisis that you've been through is causing lots of second guessing, but it doesn't have to. You can be stronger than that. You can be wiser than that and make the decisions you need to make and trust your instincts. The next one I want to talk about is give yourself permission to rest. But the trouble with that is many entrepreneurs also burn out because they don't rest. And understand that not only are we wired to keep going, when you add mental illness into the fray, when you add that level of stress of your household, your level of burnout happens quicker. You're not taking care of you. So let's take this place to say, you know what? I'm going to rest and I'm going to learn to enjoy my life. There will still be trouble and trials in your household. There will still be trouble and trials in your business, but you'll be sharper. You'll be more well rested. You'll be able to handle the troubles better. Next thing I want to talk about with you is focus on your mental health. I think this is the one thing that we're all struggling with, because if you don't take care of your mental health, no one else will. And when you say I'm not focusing on my mental health, you're saying I give up. And it's in those places that the world loses out on the gift that you are. So if you're going to be someone who thrives, then you've got to learn to focus on your mental health. For me, I like to get out and move. I like to go to the gym at times. I am huge into comic books. I play video games. The other thing is I am a super people person. I love people. It fires me up. 20 years ago when me and my wife first met, we knew nothing about this stuff. And when she first was hospitalized, spent years reading and researching and talking to doctors and doing those things so that I could learn what it was that we were dealing with as a family. It wasn't that she had mental illness. When anybody in your house has mental illness, we have mental illness because it's a family-oriented challenge. But there are times where I'm not okay. There's times where I'm frustrated. That's okay, because you're dealing with a level of stress that nobody else realizes. And I want you to understand that I'm on this journey with you as we build your business, as we build the life of your dreams, as you become the leader worth following. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button on here. Share these videos with other people, because I want to help you be that entrepreneur whose leadership lid is lifted and you become the leader worth following. As of right now, a video should have appeared here, and I want you to go ahead and follow it to the next video. If there's ever a topic you want me to cover, hit me up in the comments and I will cover that topic, because you are a leader worth following and I believe in you. And hang in there, because it does get better.